Hey, happy Wine Wednesday.
Cheers, 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 Canadian wine lovers, Carl's Wine Club members, Mira Boucher, everyone across the country. It's Wednesday, it's 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. This is time for wine. Time for wine for everyone, and for some others, times for more wines. Uh, I have a nice seven glasses lineup right in front of me where I'm going to try to put all of the pieces of the puzzles together. It's going to be a fun show. We're going to talk about our special event that we're doing this weekend, our Members' Choice BC Winery of the Year at Riverstone Estate. Just a few tickets left, just saying. We're going to talk about Domaine Queylus. We're going to talk about Dobbin Estate. We're going to talk about Batchelder a little bit. And we're going to talking about Black Market Wine Company as well, because, we haven't talked about Black Market in a while. We haven't tasted I've tasted a few Black Market recently, but I haven't reported on Black Market in a while. So I have for the first time the 2021 the syndicate. So the Black Market Wine Company, small tiny winery out of Caledon, BC, here between Penticton and Okanagan Falls. If you've been following Carl's Wine Club since the beginning, big members favorite here with Carl's Wine Club. We haven't featured them in 2 years, so now I have in my glass the brand new iteration of the syndicate, which the 2019 vintage was part of my top 10 wine of the year a couple of years ago. So I'm super thrilled to taste that wine. I don't know which one it is among the 7 wines in front of me, but we'll figure it out soon enough. But I know that Mira is working on few technical issue there. That's why we're a little behind. But hey, that's what we're here. It's entertainment. It's live. So we're just rolling with it. So, Mira, good evening. Thanks for keeping the fort. Thanks for holding the fort and keeping everything together. Technically in the back, behind the scene. What a great weekend we had, tasting lots of wines here at the Carl's Wine Club office. But you know what? I didn't taste a whole lot. I was under the weather still from my last week encounter with the bug, but I'm starting to feel much better, and that's why Mira's putting me on the spot big time tonight, tasting all of these wines. We had a long phone call with Dobbin Estate today, and Sperling, Peter Gamble in that very new project, super premium wine, all of the 20 Mile Bench in Niagara. So this is their 2020 release that they are launching right now. So I have 3 of their 2020 in my glass here in front of me. Domaine Queylus, it's a feature that it's getting put together right now, and it should be going your way very, very soon. We have 3 Pinot Noir, 3 Chardonnays, 2 Cabernet Franc, and 1 blend. So we have some major hit from Kelly Mason, winemaker at Domaine Queylus, student of Thomas Batchelder, now becoming a legend herself. So we have a super lineup of Domaine Queylus for you coming soon. So there's 2 of the Queylus in my lineup in front of me as well. So before we start tasting, because the game tonight is, I know the 7 wines in front of me. I know which one, but I don't know which one is which. So I know there's 7 wines, but which one is in which glass, that is my job tonight. So before we go into that fun game, see if I can make a fool of myself or see if I know a bit, let me talk to you about what's coming up this very weekend. I mean, 3 weeks ago, we had one of the greatest experience ever with our Ontario Winery of the Year event, where 35 members of ours followed us among some of the most sought after vineyards of Niagara, where Thomas Batchelder sourced his grapes. And we tasted the wines in the vineyards with the knowledge and the enthusiasm of Thomas. And after that, we did that all day, 4 different vineyards. Got back to the Bat Cave, which is the Chateau Fall of Batchelder wines with Mary and Thomas Batchelder tasting back vintages and like like doing barrel tours and all of that. So it was absolutely incredible. Now this upcoming weekend, it is the turn of it's BC now. We have members coming all the way from the lower mainland or Alberta to be part of the Riverstone BC Members Choice Award Winery of the Year. While we walk the vineyards that Thomas sourced his wines in Ontario. Now it's a different concept because Riverstone use exclusively estate fruits. So we're going to be at Riverstone, at the estate, from the production facility where we're going to do an incredible library tasting. And I have some news for you. I have a little hint, wink, wink, of what is going to be tasted at the library VIP tasting before the main event. Maybe I've heard that our number one wine of the year, the Riverstone, the Milestone 2015, might be in the lineup. So Ted might pull out the big gun, the top wine that I've tasted last year among 1,250 wines that I tasted. Number one, it's going to be in the lineup. So if you have your ticket, you are up for a heck of a treat. I'll tell you one thing. If not, there's just a few available. The caterer will be Flambé. So if you know the Okanagan, Flambé is based in Caledon. Now they just opened a shop in Summerland. They're doing some really cool stuff. So Noel, the general manager, has contacted Flambé. We're going to have some great food. We're going to walk after the VIP library tasting. We're going to move from the production facility all the way, walking through the vineyard with Ted Kane, owner, winemaker, and the assistant winemaker, Austin, talking about a little bit of viticulture, talking about the grape growing, talking about the estate vineyard, what makes Riverstone vineyard so special. Because guess what? When I taste Riverstone wines, I definitely notice something very terroir-like, which I mean, there's so much minerality in these bold reds from the South Okanagan, more than any others. They are sitting on a super rocky soil. So that's what made the grapes and the wines very unique on their own. So yeah. So we're going to talk about it with the members. You guys can see for yourself how beautiful the vineyard is. Beautiful without grapes this year, obviously. But we're going to talk to Ted about that. What is the strategy? What is he doing this year? Is he like, hey, we have Rob Amersley here. I'm just tuning in his truck, driving back from Washington State, where he called the pig this morning, where the Saint-So was picked early this morning, pressed on site in Washington State, and the juice is going to be sent to black market. So some of our winemakers have built some pretty cool relationship down in Washington over the summer, where they have chosen some rows of their vineyards, and they're going to bring their fruits, either some pressed juice or some, mostly for the reds, the grapes straight to the wineries. What does Ted is planning? Guess what? I have no idea, but we're gonna spend the all afternoon with Ted at Riverstone on Saturday.
Yeah, so if anyone has missed this, there was a deep freeze this last January that meant that 80-90% of the grapes in BC were gone. There's just no harvest to be had for so many wineries. So many are going to Washington State for their grapes. Some are going to Vancouver Island and the Lower Mainland because they have a little bit. And there are some wineries doing wine with Ontario grapes, as well as some wineries. We don't know of any personally, but I'm sure there will be wineries bringing in grapes from even farther away places. So the key will be who's going to be super transparent about it, who's going to be
So the truth and labeling, right? The truth and labeling. So I'm totally with you, Mira. That's going to be a big key in all that.
But as a wine lover, it's kind of exciting to see what our talent, which I think is part of terroir, is the people here, what the talent here in winemaking in Canada is going to do with grapes from not their usual terroir, not their usual climate, right? So from Washington State and all these other places. And also like new varietals that we don't normally see in the Okanagan, right?
Well, that was a couple of strategies out there, right? And like, I mean, for winemakers, they either keep working with the same type of grape that what they do in their own vineyards and sourcing the same kind of thing because they feel really comfortable, or you go completely opposite way and you source something that you've never made before and you give it a try at it. You give it a go and you are just having fun and just sharpening your skills with different grape varietals. And that's what Rob is doing here at Black Market with some Saint-So. I've heard that he's also bringing in some Chenin Blanc. So make couple different style of Chenin, bringing some Saint-So rosé, which is very popular in the south of Provence. In France, but also Saint-So is a popular grape in Washington State. That was our trip to Black Market this weekend.
You don't know Black Market. I mean, many members do. They were our winery of the year 2-3 years ago.
3 years ago, our first ever. Yeah.
Yes. They're in Caledon outside of Penticton, like 10 minutes outside of Penticton. There's Rob there with his Syrah grapes from Washington State. And what is he doing that's pretty unique? He's basically doing 3 styles of Syrah. He's known for his Syrah. So it's exciting.
Well, yeah, so we're not sure exactly if it's going to be 3 styles, but right now there's 3 different bins of Syrahs starting their fermentation right now. So with the fermentation started in a couple different ways, and you can see different smells coming out of each and every bins. So is he going to make them in separate batches? Is he gonna blend them later on? It's always the winemaker's choice. It's always the winemaker anticipation of what is what.
Here we are, winery.
Yeah, so that was a pretty cool tour of and I.
This is a little bit at the back, so these are starting.
Let's go.
Yeah, I think so.
I will stop that, but you get the idea. You get the idea.
Yeah, so
they each smell pretty differently.
Oh yeah, absolutely, very, very different. Absolutely. So it was fun. Great time at Black Market on Sunday night, seeing what's going on. Black Market is going to be one of our feature very soon at the end of this month. So in 2 weeks from now, Black Market is going to be on full spotlight with Carl's Wine Club. So you're going to know more about their Washington project. You're going to know more about their 2021 release. And you're going to know more tonight about my opinion on their flagship wine, the Syndicate. So I can wait to give it a try and see which one is which. So yeah.
Carl had to go to the hospital again, but don't worry. It was a lung infection that is not as bad as we thought it would be, and is now recovering. But we want to test out and see how recovered your crazy scent and taste buds are
Well, I think I feel pretty sharp right now. I mean, I sharpened my senses for most of half of the day today, so I'm pretty confident that my taste buds are back.
Yeah.
Maybe not 100%, but maybe at 80%. My smell is pretty back where it should be. So I will be ready to rock.
So we're doing kind of a semi-blind tasting, right? So you're gonna
Semi-blind
know
tasting. Yeah, exactly.
what the 7 wines are, and it's like those, like, can you match the picture with the other picture? Right?
Yeah, no, totally. So yeah, whenever you want me to start, I can start. And just to finish with the Riverstone event, Mira. After walking the vineyard, we're gonna go back in couple stations throughout the property, tasting different wines at different spots. There's going to be live music. Obviously, Ted and Lauren will be on site, chatting with all the members, presenting all the wines. We're going to also do the new Cornerstone, which is the flagship wine. I have heard that there's going to be multiple vintage of the Cornerstone open. So we might have a mini vertical open. It might be some barrel of the Cornerstone of certain components. So, I mean, there's going to be a shitload of wine out there open, and there's going to be rosés, there's going to be white, and obviously Riverstone are known for their big reds and also the purity and the minerality of each and every varietal. I tasted the Malbec single varietal, the Merlot single varietal, the Cap Franc single varietal, obviously the Cornerstone, and the what's the other one? The Stone Troll, which are both the blend, the flagship, and the little bit more affordable wine. So I tasted them all, blended or singular, and there's such a precision in the clean interpretation of each varietal with Riverstone. So I can't wait for the members to taste that and experience that in the vineyard with the owner winemaker. So yeah, there are few tickets left. So I replied.
Spots. And the reason we're teasing you so much with this, because we know you can't just jump on a plane and join us on Saturday in Oliver, although it is glorious in wine country right now. It is just beautiful weather-wise. But we will also feature Riverstone next week. Is that correct?
It is correct. Noel, the general manager, and Ted are, they're putting something, a little bit like we did with Thomas. Something that's going to reflect the day of celebration, and something that you won't find on the website. Something that only Carl's Wine Club members will be privileged to taste. So yeah, I'm expecting a mini vertical.
Right there. How beautiful is that? Eh?
I know. I love that place. I freaking love that place. To me, this is wine country at its best. That's Ted. Yeah, and I mean, I've heard also that there might be some 2013 Petit Verdot.
That was good. When we accidentally opened that for your blind taste a few weeks ago.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's okay. I sent you the tasting notes. Maybe you want to post the tasting notes with my score just to tease people.
Okay, let's see here.
While I finish the conversation, because also, yeah, for sure, the Milestone is going to be open. And I mean, this wine on its own,
96 points.
96 points. I mean, Mira has rarely talked about one wine. I've never talked about one wine just in that interpretation, and that like this, the love affair that Mira has for Milestone is beyond any other wine that she's ever tasted. And yeah, I mean, that was my top wine of the year last year, 96 points. And that's going to be open. I believe that the Malbec, the brand new release Malbec was always going to be open. There's going to be some white sparkling Merlot. Obviously, probably the Sauvignon Blanc, which is, to me, the best Sauvignon Blanc producer In Canada, it's Riverstone. Every single year, Riverstone Sauvignon Blanc. I don't know what it is with the source, with the block of Sauvignon Blanc, or what Ted is doing, because it's not that he's doing it differently. It's just plain stainless steel Sauvignon Blanc. And I mean, there's nothing more simple than that. But he does it in a certain way that every single year, since I started tasting Canadian wines, that he has the very top Sauvignon Blanc rated in the country in my tasting notes. So I was like, pretty cool. So yeah, I'm gonna have that Malbec, Merlot, Petit Verdot, Cornerstone, Stone Stroll, and all of these amazing back vintage wines available. So
94 points is what you gave that 2013, and 96 points for the 2015 milestone. So these are serious heavy hitter, amazing South Okanagan reds, possibly rare for the next few years as more and more wineries have to go to Washington State or other places, especially for their reds, because of the lack of harvest in 2024 for so many wineries. So yeah, let's enjoy them while we can. What are you tasting there? Which one? Which one? Number one. So I've numbered them 1 to 7. Carl knows the 7 wines. He knows that there's 2 wines from there's 3 wines from Domaine Estate, an amazing new, very luxurious type of really beautiful wine kind of winery.
Well, I mean, this is a powerful duo. The iconic consulting duo of Anne Sperling and Peter Gamble, which have their hands on the viticulture and the winemaking since the very beginning of Domaine. And I mean, when I hear that Peter and Anne has their thumbprint on a lineup of wine, I know that the quality is going to be outstanding, and I know that the terroir, the respect for the grape is going to be absolutely at a high level. And we had the privilege to be there at the Tower with Anne and Peter in April to taste their 2019 initial release, and it was absolutely outstanding. Go ahead, Mira.
By the Tower, he means that there is a beautiful garden tower next to a little pond, a little lake on the vineyard property. And you go up there and you feel like you're just like up in the air above the vines and the lake. It's just beautiful. So we were up there. They do tastings for up to 10 guests up there at a time with pairings. So good. So good.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely incredible. I mean, they have not cut any corner. Everything. I mean, they're playing in the super premium category. The wines are all $60 or more. But every single bottle that I've tasted so far, including the 2 first wines here that I know are the 2 Rieslings for Domaine. My challenge right now, it's the same vintage. I have the 2020 Estate and the 2020. Both are dry Rieslings. And what I have to decide here between 1 and 2 is...
Oh, and I gave it away because I showed the bottle. Shit.
Why? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Mira. It was very obvious which one is which, and I will explain you my thought process here. Yeah. Is so Domaine's for the 2020 vintage, the Estate, obviously it's the fruits are coming exclusively from the Estate vintage, from the Estate vineyard. Yes. And the non-estate, they have fruit also coming from the 4 Mile Creek appellation and 1 other vineyard on the 20 Mile Bench. Their estate vineyard, they are located on the 20 Mile Bench. So the difference is 500 cases of the estate has been produced, and 500 bottles have been produced. So 43 cases. Plus couple magnums. So let's say 2 barrels of the estate were produced and 2,000 bottles were produced of the non-estate. Now, to me, in my head, if they produce 2 barrels of the estate, I'm looking for precision. I'm really looking for something precise, something nervy, something very, very directional. And for the non-estate, I'm looking something for a little something rounder, something a little bit more approachable, some more generic in term, but more following a house style. Okay. And it's very obvious. Number one is the estate. Number two is the other Domaine. The number one has that very super precise energy. It's directional. There's a bright nerve of acidity all the way through the length, but there's a vibrancy in that number one that you don't find in number two. So to me, it's scream terroir in number one. So I have the single estate vineyard in number one, and I have the other number two. Now, before you confirm, I would say personally at $65 for the estate and $60 for the other one, I'm still going with the estate as my favorite wine of the two. I will rate the number one. I will rate it. It's a very, 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 very high score Riesling. This is precision Niagara Riesling at its very, very freaking best.
It's truly a wow wine.
Oh no, it's like, are you fucking killing me type of wine. This, oh no, I mean, this is top 10 wine of the year material. As the number two, it would be more as a maybe honorable mention type of wine. There's maybe a point or two difference for the other one. I'm giving 95 points to the estate. It's absolutely freaking off the chart. It's off the chart. It's beyond precision, energy.
I want to say about the balance too, because it, like, to me, sometimes like an amazing wine is like having a decadent dessert, and it can be decadent but like too rich or heavy, right? But this to me is like, oh, it's just so well balanced. It's so beautiful. There's just such a lightness throughout it.
But there's a vibration in that wine. There's some things who keeps the focus. It's not zingy. It's not acid in your face. It says dry, but there's a hint of RS around that. I don't know if it's like 5 gram, maybe would be my guess. While the other one, while the other one might be like just around the 10, maybe. But I'm usually tempted to go a little bit more generous on my score with the rounder. But the complexity of number one is absolutely astonishing. And it keeps vibrating in my mouth. It keeps pulsing. So yeah, 95. I don't know if I go too high with 95. But this is really probably the top Riesling that I tasted this year.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's wow. Wow.
Well, I remember when we were there last summer, you tasted the 2019s. And I think you gave one of them 95 or 96 points as well.
So the 2019, for the 19 vintage, there were a different, they didn't name it the same way. The one was Riesling dry and the other one was Riesling. This time around is dry Riesling both, but one is estate, the other one is not. But I remember that the regular Riesling was my very favorite compared to the dry one. So Mira, am I right with number one and number two? That like estate is number one,
you definitely are. I can see what you mean too. How you depicted it. It's one of those things that I'm an untrained palate, right? So I'm like, I don't know. They're both good, but when you think about it, what you described is so precise. There is a difference for sure. But yes, you are correct. Number one was the estate, which you can tell because it has this white cap. And that's the one that you said, what, 46 cases made, right? So very special estate bottling. And then this one with the black cap, 2,000 cases made. And it was it's got a cool story too, but it's more of a blend of different vineyards, my understanding.
That's three different vineyards. Two from the let's say the one who hasn't made the cut for the single barrel, but it's not make the cut or not. It's what they need to bring the unit as a whole together. It might be not all the same top barrel, because the same top barrel might not have, you need some different characteristic to build a balanced wine. So they probably built what they needed for the estate, and the rest is going into the generic blend of the three different vintage. Just like when you build a hockey team, right? You go to the Olympic, you don't take all of the top scorer of the league. You try to build a team, at least a line who can play defense. You build some different skills. So when you build a wine like that, you just not only take simply the best barrel. They need to have different characteristics so they match each other, building the best wine, not the best barrel. So I don't know if it makes sense what I'm saying, but
yeah, absolutely. It has to be balanced and it has to work together. And I mean, we had some blending sessions recently with a couple different wineries, with Bellaterra when we were out there a couple weeks ago with members. We were at Black Market here in Caledon, BC, looking at blending for their syndicate, and all the time, the winemakers are talking about that balance. Like sometimes you need the wine who bottled by itself might be a little too aggressive or too muted, but when blended together, it brings that whole.
Exactly. So that's for wine number 1 and 2. Now I'm going to attack the 5 reds. And before smelling anything, I'm going to push number 5 out of the way. Okay, let's take 5 out of the way right away, because I know only by the color.
Oh, that is beautiful wines, guys.
So Mira, so you listen to me here, okay?
They're so different. Yes, I just smelled the 5. It's so much more torrefaction, so much more like coffee on this one.
Well, number 5 is just by the color. So the color, it's much more brown brickle. A little bit like we faced with the Pinot Noir last week. Yeah, number 5 is a little older wine. So to me, this wine is the 2019 Réserve du Domaine from the Domaine Queylus. Because just of the color,
face, I won't tell you if you're right. Carl knows which wines they are, right? We have 7 wines open right now. He knows which ones they are. We're trying to match which one is which.
Yeah.
Mix them all up on him. Okay, so you think 5 is the 2019 Réserve du Domaine Cab Franc from Domaine Queylus, who we're about to feature in the club as our next discovery.
Yeah.
And the reason is because you get a little bit more of that
brown brickle, the orange brown brickle color. And I know when I did the tasting notes of that wine, it jumped out of me that wine had a little bit of age. And this, I noticed that. So now, I'm going to go after that to 6 and 7, because these are definitely the 2 big blend on the nose and on the color. I mean, this is quite obvious that we have the 2 big boys at 6 and 7.
Yes, and they're so different. That's so good.
So, and without tasting, I know that 7 is even darker than number 6. Okay, and I know that for the Daubin, the Daubin is a Cab blend, Cab Franc, Cab Sauv. I know for a fact there's no Petit Verdot in the Daubin red blend. Now I know for a fact that in the Black Market syndicate, Rob love to put a very generous dose of Petit Verdot. What is the biggest, one of the greatest characteristic of Petit Verdot is to give the wine some dark and inky color. So when I look at the two big dark wine, number 7, you cannot see through. You can't. Number 6 is dark, but I can't see through. So there's no Petit Verdot in number 6. So number 6 will be the Red Blend by Domaine, and number 7 will be the Black Market Wine Company.
This is 6.
The syndicate.
This is 7. Holy cow, on the nose, are they both ever beautiful?
Yeah, the Domaine on the nose, it's incredible. And one of the most glorious nose that I ever smelled in a red wine was, I have the bottle here, the Pearl Morissette Cuvée Madeleine Cabernet Franc. That was such a unique cherry wood. And I know that I have Richard De Silva here. He's going to scratch his head like this when I talk about Pearl Morissette. But that very vintage of Cuvée Madeleine Cabernet Franc had a really specific cherry wood.
I remember it.
Nose. And let's remember, this is 20 Mile Bench. And I believe that the Cap Franc from that blend from Peter and Anne at Dobbins comes from the 20 Mile Bench. So anyway, I made a smell connection in between that cannot lie to my big nose, okay? It takes half of my face, but when used properly. Okay, so now I'm back with, now I have 2 wines left, 3 and 4. So I'm left in between a Pinot Noir from Domaine Queylus, and it's the Pinot Noir Tradition. So it's the entry level, the $35 Pinot Noir, or a Zweigel from West Kelowna. The Zweigel from West Kelowna it's the Gita family, made by Bobby Gita, the 2020 vintage, both of 2020 vintage. One is Zweigel, one is Pinot Noir. One from West Kelowna, one the Pinot Noir from Niagara Peninsula. Okay?
This is 3 and 4. Okay.
But I'll have to taste them.
So what's crazy is you put a puzzle like this in front of Carl, and I think he probably figured out which one is which in the first 60 seconds just by smelling them. But it's interesting to see the thought process behind it. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah, so we got one, a Zweigelt from West Kelowna. The other one, he thinks, is a Pinot Noir from Domaine Queylus in Niagara.
Okay.
So what do you think?
So 4 has more forest floor. 3 has more forest floor than 4.
Okay.
4 is getting a little muted. I have lost a bit. And the colors here, the color kind of tricked me here. Color-wise, I will give the 4 the Zweigel. It's more, yeah. But taste-wise,
Daryl, great question.
I know the Canon. The Canon are too pronounced. So 3 is going to be the Zweigel and 4 is going to be the Queylus.
So say that again.
3, the tannin are too present, are too strong for the, so it's going to, I would say it's the Zweigel.
Okay, the tannins are more present in the Zweigelt.
Yeah, in the Zweigelt than it is in the than the 4. And the 4, I would say it's the Pinot. Maybe that's the 2 that I mixed up. But anyway, so now I go 3 Zweigelt, 4 Queylus Pinot, 5. That's the Queylus Cab Franc. 6 is the Domaine Estate, and 7 is the black market.
My God, Carl Boucher. And this was mainly by smelling them.
Mainly by smelling that. I tasted 3 and 4 side by side, but the tannin has resolved my problem. And there's also American wood in the Zweigelt, and I got that popping up. So, and there's no way that Kelly Mason used American wood. Well, maybe, but I don't know. It's not as present. So.
Okay, so tell me again. You think 4 is
Queylus Pinot Noir Tradition.
God, I hope I didn't mix them up. You'll have to double check it, but I was pretty careful. So you have, out of 7 wines, 5 out of 7, because those 2, like you said, you're not sure. Yeah. I do believe you mixed them up. I mean, I can bring bottles up for you to tell you if
Oh no, you don't need to. You don't need to.
So it was a tricky one between the Zweigelt and the Pinot Noir. But I mean, I think you have to go on your instinct where you said there's more forest floor on number 3. That is the Pinot Noir.
Yeah, and I know, and that's what I noticed the first thing on my tasting notes. So, but anyway.
But that is remarkable. That is
remarkable. The 4 is so muted, and because I have the
guess was correct with those 2. So sometimes you gotta just trust that gut.
Yeah. You know what fucked me up? It's the 4. The nose is muted, and because I opened the Pinot Noir like many days ago, so I thought maybe it lost a little bit of the nose, and that's why I switched my mind for the opposite. But hey, 5 out of 7, I guess.
Well, I mean, yeah, your first guess was correct, and then you trying to second guess yourself.
Overthink it.
Overthink it. But I mean, that's remarkable. And what a lineup. Holy cow. So if you go, like we've got the Domaine Rieslings, which are, like you said, probably some of the best Rieslings we've tasted all year. Overall, like just phenomenal Canadian Rieslings. We've got what? The 2 wines from Domaine Queylus, the Pinot Noir, the Cab Franc. And then we've got the Domaine Cab Blend from 2020. These are all 2020s from Niagara we're tasting here.
No, the Queylus Cab Franc Reserve is 19.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just like bring in the lineup. Okay, so the first wine that you got correct, yes, is the Domaine Dry Riesling, Domaine Estate Dry Riesling from Niagara, and it was the white cap, which means it's their estate. 46 cases made. How many points?
95, and I'm not backing down on that. This is a top 10 wine. This is a top 10 wine of the year candidate. This is absolutely freaking off the chart.
I totally agree. Then we had number 2 was also Domaine, also Dry Riesling, but this is their black cap, which means it's not a state. It's a blend of 3 vineyards, right?
Yeah, I'll go 92 plus with that one.
Phenomenal wine as well.
Oh, fuck yeah, absolutely.
I can see what you mean. It's so interesting. It's like that time that we blind tasted me on a $8 wine and a $32 wine. I mean, you know, like there is a difference. And with these 2, like it's they're both phenomenal. But yeah, you're right. That estate one has just this precision, this balance. Oh my God. Okay, so those are 1 and 2.
Precision, but also vibration. I don't know if I make sense when I say vibration, especially in the Riesling. There's a little layer of RS, but in the middle, there's something like vibrates, like it's the acidity, but it's not zingy, austere,
Oh,
like
not us.
almost painful acidity. No, this is such a pleasant and soft texture, but the soft texture delivering precision.
Yes.
You need to record that soft texture delivering precision. I need to put that in the tasting note.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is incredible. Like this, like sometime in a red wine, we'll use the expression of the iron fist in a velvet glove, right? Something like that. Well, I mean that this is the kind of thing here in the white. There's vibrant acidity, but in the same time, it's softly delivered. Yeah, it is apt to not. It's really, really a masterpiece. Really a masterpiece.
It is beautiful.
Holy shit! Wow. I had high expectation because the 19 was really freaking amazing. And I think this one may have a little bit more layered, a little bit more phenolic. This is incredible. Yeah, it's a masterpiece. Absolutely. Absolutely. I haven't tasted their red blend yet, but I believe this probably the very top wine of this lineup. Of the 7 wine.
I always tell which one I like the most, just based on how much I end up tasting the one I like the most.
Daryl, I really like what you just said here. The 50 shades of acidity. I like that. I like that. It's almost poetry here, but it is that. I mean, this is a soft acidity. It's a softness into a precision. I mean, yeah, I love it, man. I love that. And you know what? $65 all in. I've seen more expensive. I mean, for a very, very top wine, keep in mind, Canada produced some really, really good Riesling. That might be one of the very best of the 2020 vintage.
Wow.
Okay, hey, listen, I haven't tasted them all. But in terms of serious kick-ass, complex, and soft Riesling, this is right up there.
So you like your wines in their youth. With that wine, that's a 95-point Riesling. Knowing that Riesling is known to age well.
Yeah.
Would you wait on that, or would you consume it in the next couple of years?
I'll do both. I would definitely drink another bottle of that in the next 2 years. It's just too fucking good. It's just too freaking good. But I know that wine will last easily, like without a shadow of a doubt. Knowing who made it, knowing that this wine has another 15 years. 15. Easy in front of it. So, I mean, this is give me 6 bottles of that, and I want to and that's the beauty to chart and catalog the progression of a wine like that. I mean, this is art on its own. Erotic. Hey, Mike? Exactly. Like the little pink book of my little hero story with a 2020 Rieslings from Dobbins. Like I'm turning into a erotic story. I sure can't do that with that wine. There's everything that I can put in a 18+ story. Absolutely everything.
My. Yeah, and Daryl's saying, yeah, you like it, that wine in the youth. You know what? Like it's just phenomenal right now. It really is. And we're going to have sushi later. I know Richard is saying he's going out to get sushi. We might run into you in like half an hour because I think that wine could go phenomenally with sushi. But I mean, Riesling goes with a lot of things, especially the fall. I love Riesling for the fall. Anyway, enough about Riesling. The next 2 wines you got a little bit confused by. You second guessed yourself. You had it right on the first guess, and then you were like, I don't know. Yeah. And so the next 2 wines, number 3 was the Tradition Pinot Noir, also 2020 vintage from Domaine Queylus, which is going to be available in the club as of tomorrow as our feature this week. And
The earthiness has developed in the last 3 days since this wine has been open, has developed a lot. And it gives it like a very Burgundian style of aromas at this point. This is very forest floor. This is savory. They're developing some dry herbs type, almost potpourri. But this is a $35 Pinot Noir. I think the Tradition line of Domaine Queylus outperformed the Réserve du Domaine and outperformed the limited edition line. The $33 Chardonnay and the $35 Pinot Noir are, to my opinion, in what we're gonna offer, in what I've tasted in the last 10 days, are the best QPR and the highest rated of them all. No, that's not true. That's not true. The Mountain View Pinot Noir is a very fucking serious wine. It's a Batchelder like Pinot Noir. I can't compare the 33 versus the $80. This now becomes too wide. There's become too wide of a gap in between, but this is very impressive for an entry level. That I mixed them up, I'm not that disappointed because I wrote a tasting note for the Gita family Zweigel this afternoon at 92 points. This is by far the best one that's made at Volcanic Hills. This is the 195 cases produced.
The few we've tasted so far.
And this wine is really, really, really good. So, and I believe that I also rated kind of the same score for the Pinot Noir. So I'm fairly on the same bracket here at 92 points. So yeah, now that you mention it, I mean, and this 2020, I love it because it's going to shine for 4 more years at $35, and it's going to put you to 2028. There's so much you can do with that little Pinot Noir. I mean, it's serious, but it's approachable. Yeah, there's a lot of great thing to do there. So yeah.
Yeah, so you mentioned American oak, right? And yes, there is some with that Gita family estate. It says 30% French and American oak. Yeah, and I did not mix them up. I just checked, right?
Yeah.
But I did not mix them up.
Yeah, so the Gita, I've tasted twice today. It's probably a 91 point. But I love the finish. The finish is pulsing. It's crunchy. I really like that. This is a very high quality wine from a single vineyard, West Kelowna, on the Mount Bushri extinct volcano. So very terroir driven. I like that Zweigel a lot. 91 plus maybe. That serious wine, well done. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah. This is a family that's been making or planted grapes in 1978 in that area in West Kelowna. So really pioneers for West Kelowna. And Daniel Bontarin, who we know and love as the Rosé guy, because he has his own brand under 7 Directions and Bottega Wine Studio. He's been the winemaker there for years. So he made that wine.
So Daryl, you're asking about the Domaine Queylus Pinot scores. I have a 92 plus for the Tradition. I have a 90 plus for the Réserve du Domaine 2019, and I have a 94 points for Mountain View, I believe. So Mira, I sent you the list. That should be pretty much it, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to look at it. It might take a second.
Yeah.
You'll have
So
it in your
nine,
inbox tomorrow.
yeah, 92 plus for Tradition at $35. At $48 for the Réserve du Domaine, it's 90 plus points. The problem with the Réserve du Domaine is the wine is delicious right now, but I don't believe that it's going to last for a very long time. The colors already show age. The wine hasn't dropped yet, but I think it's a drink now until the next 2 years. So there's not a ton on the back end of that wine, but the wine is drinking well now. And in terms of the mountain view, after the second day, it shows all of its potential. And because just coming back from a trip in Niagara, that that Daryl, you were with us, that it was Thomas Batchelder quality. So at 94 points for the mountain view, I don't think that I'm out of sync there. Very serious, long aging potential, starting to open up right now. So it's showing extremely well. Obviously, 2020 vintage. So yeah. So that and the Chardonnay for Domaine Queylus, the Tradition, I give it a 93 points. The $33 Chardonnay outscore
Including
all
tax.
of. Yeah, absolutely. Gold medal, Wine Align. I think it's Godel or John Zabo give it a 94 points. That wine was named the best wine at the Ontario the best wine overall. It was the wine of the year at
Wow.
Wine Align at Ontario Wine Award, I believe. Or at the All Canadian either. I need to double check, but wine of the year. And I'm not surprised. For $33, including tax, that Chardonnay kicks ass big time. The Réserve du Domaine, 2019, I believe I gave it a 91 points and a 92 points for the limited edition. Something like that. I tasted the Chardonnay like 10 days ago, so maybe. But that's going to be in your inbox tomorrow. And to me, look up for the two traditions, $33 and $35. These wines are
Pinot Noir.
yeah. Oh, and also the Tradition Cap Franc. Leah Spooner at the wine press lost her fucking mind on that wine. She gave it 96 points, I believe. I didn't go that far. I think I gave it a 92 plus or 93. But as a $30 Cap Franc, including tax, this Cap Franc kicks ass too. Daryl, I know it's not exactly your wheelhouse, but it was like really impressive delivery for the entry level line. So again, DQ, Domaine Queylus, absolutely over deliver on their entry level line. I also really like the Droite, which is the blend of Cap Franc Merlot. Did a really, really good job as well. So now to finish with the two big boys, I have two extremely good wines here. I have on the nose
three big boys. But
two.
yeah, 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7.
Well, I just talked about 5.
Oh, you did. Oh, right. 5 you said was the
90 plus point, the Réserve du Domaine Queylus.
You are correct. Yes.
So 6, Daubin Estate. This is the Cabernet blend. Incredible nose. That is the wine with the greatest nose in the whole lineup tonight.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I mean, this is something else. I mean, this is the perfect vintage for this wine. This is 2020. It's big, it's bold, but it's gamble at its best, where he retains acidity in the bold vintage. He managed the alcohol very well. I don't know. Tell me, Mira, you have the bottle. I have no idea. But this wine has not more than 14% alcohol in that. It's not above 14. I don't believe it. I think you have the bottle. Do you think you can take a look for me?
All right. So the Dobbin Cab Blend 2020 is 14 on the dot.
Yeah, I mean, because it's let's remember 2020, that's the hot vintage. And Peter Gamble has managed the alcohol. So there's a freshness in there. This is a very, very solid wine. I don't know the price. I know this is it's up there around the $70 to $80. So that's where this is a super quality wine. If it was 50, I would have rated this wine at least 90, 94 points. I believe that it's not 50. So I have to really, really be careful. I love the balance of that wine. This is 93 points for sure. 93 for sure, no doubt about that. Even if it's $100, this is 93 points. This is very well made. There's a little bit of barrel. I filled the barrel past the mid palate, which I like. It gives that wine some torque. The fruits are pure. It's clean. It's bold, but it's refreshing. So I really like the structure of that wine. All cassis and black forest cake. There's a nice charcoal-like minerality on the back end, which gives me some that minerality that I really, really enjoy. So yeah, that 2020 is fairly impressive. Daryl says $80 for the 19, so we should be around the same price point here.
But it's 20 on their website as well, and it is 80, including
there
tax.
you go. So $80. I mean, yeah, it's not cheap. Definitely not. This is a dozen year of aging easily. This is a cellar wine. I'll give it 93 points.
It is well worth it. It is phenomenal. Wow. That nose, you can sit here.
I know, eh? I know. I can sit there and smell that wine all night long.
Wow. And it reminds me, it just takes me back to that tower tasting we did with them. And they have the pairings. And I can't remember exactly what they had with this Cab Franc, the 19 version, but it was so beautiful. I think it was sort of a short rib or something like that. Oh, that's tasty. That's nice. And I am like you, Daryl. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Cab Franc in general, right? It's not the first varietal I go looking for, but this for sure. I would totally get that. That is amazing.
So I wanted to put the Syndicate among the big boys. I wanted to put the Syndicate side by side with the Domaine. That's the reason why I put it, because I know that the Syndicate has the potential to play in the big league. I know it. 2019 absolutely put Black Market into a stratosphere of rock star, and I will not back down on that. I think Black Market, the Syndicate 2019 was among some of the top wines made that year. Rob's always delivers some outstanding wine. This 2021, let's keep in mind, it's a year younger, and it's half the price of the Domaine. Not half, but close to half. I think you're at $44 for the Syndicate, if I not missed.
I'll tell you. Syndicate, Black Market. Okay. 2021. Yes, I'm over 19. It's asking me. It's asking me if I'm over 19. Yes, I guess so. Right. So on their website, Syndicate 2019. They have Magnum still. Oh, I'm just trying to find the 20. Is it maybe not released yet?
That's possible that the 21 is not released yet. What's the last? There's a great length. This is again a very, very, very good wine. It's pulsing. There's some white pepper lingering at the end. It lingers for a good amount of time. I like that. It's well layered.
I found it. 44 plus tax.
There you go. 51 to 2. Yeah. I mean, it's a good chunk under the bracket of Domaine. In terms of length of the finish, these wines are at exact same level. They both have the same kind of length, lingering, super lengthy. Where it changes a bit, it's the roundness of the mid palate, the little bit more feminine in the Domaine, but the black market is a year younger. There's Petit Verdot in there, right? So the barrel pops up a little bit more in the black market. So I need to do a little bit more projection. I would say this is definitely not under 92 points. Not under 92, definitely. I'm trending right now at 92 plus. That's where my gut feeling is. I just popped that bottle. So I want to taste that tomorrow with a little bit of breathing and see where it leads me. But this is definitely playing in the same stratosphere that the Dobbins Red, no doubt about that. Well done, Rob Amersley. Yeah, and it's a tough vintage. It was a tough vintage to play with. There was a lot of smoke problem in the area, but not in the area, in the region. There was the heat dome, and so there were so many challenges for Rob to put together a wine like that. And I believe that, I mean, for a Rob vintage, it's an outstanding result. An outstanding result for the vintage. So, yeah. Whew. 620.
Well, you are correct. I mean, I don't think it needs to be said, but you are definitely correct on the number 6 was the Dobbin. Gorgeous. Oh my God. Gorgeous Cabernet blend 2020, the vintage of the century. So I love that wine. And then of course, number 7, you're correct, also was the 2021 Black Market Syndicate from Caledon, BC with Merlot, Cab Sauv, Petit Verdot, Cab Franc. And yeah, all amazing wines we got to taste tonight. How amazing. Yeah. Oh, Daryl sent a video of Lionel Richie singing all night long.
Woo-hoo! All night long, baby. All night long, baby. Awesome. Absolutely. Well, absolutely. So what a track. That was an awesome night.
I mean, this is the conundrum now. I mean, we have these phenomenal reds open, and we're going to go get sushi, but that's okay because we also have the most incredible Rieslings open. So
yeah, I have to say the wine of the day is it's number 1. To my opinion, number 1 is my wine of the day.
Okay. So that's the White Label Estate Vineyard Riesling. And that was your 95-point score, right? And that's the 46 cases produced one, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
it's amazing.
Oh, I can do damage with that. Oh, that is good. And again, at 65, including tax. It's not priced outside of the nonsense.
Oh, not at all. No, that makes a lot of sense to me, actually. And what is the blend? That's also that you gave 92 plus, I think, too.
Yeah,
What's the price on that? Do we know?
60.
Oh, okay, so they're similar in price.
60 and 65. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. 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 I think there's also like that perception out there that Riesling should be cheap or should be in the lower price bracket. And when you get to the very top here, and if you look at the international stage, I mean, when you look at Alsace and Germany, when you get in the Grand Cru, I mean, we're talking about $150, $200 wines. And this is that level. This is that level. So it takes me back to the same comp that I do between our best Chardonnays versus the Meursaults and the Charlemagne and the Corton from Burgundy. When we talk our top Chardonnay are 55 to 7 to 80 bucks, let's say $80. And these are now almost village price for Burgundy. When you go to Meursault, you have nothing under $280. So, I mean, this at Grand Cru level for that Riesling, because it's truly drink as a like a Grand Cru. So, I mean, yeah, it is phenomenal. It is absolutely.
Gets me more and more excited about this idea. So, okay, so for those of you that don't know or have forgotten, we are filming our first TV show in less than a month. It's TELUS has sponsored us to film an 8-part series about different regions in the Okanagan. We'll start with the Okanagan because that's where we live, but hopefully we can expand this out to Niagara. And I think the ultimate dream is to take some of these wines out to Germany, out to these, world
the birthplace of these wines, right?
Where they are charging $200-$300 a bottle, and say, here's our $60 Canadian bottle, and say, oh my God, it's at a similar level, and it's been developed in the last 30, 40, 50 years of winemaking here in Canada, whereas out there they've had hundreds, if not thousands of years to figure this out. So it's pretty impressive.
Absolutely. It is very, very impressive. And wow, what a fun night. I mean, we're almost an hour and a half in, Mira, and we keep rocking it. But I mean,
yeah,
amazing night. So much fun.
I'm going to go play that all night long.
Oh, it's up to you. It's up to you. You're getting in the danger zone right there. So I'll leave it to that. And I think I need to go pick up the sushis.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Stephen Pollack from Domaine Artema, who has formerly the place where there was Desert Hills Estate Winery down in Oliver, Osoyoos. He's saying, damn, happy to see Riesling in Ontario getting such high praise. I'll have to try these guys and the estate Riesling. Totally agree. I think Stephen is originally from Ontario, so I'm
absolutely. And Stephen, I owe you a reply. Expect a text from me tomorrow before 10 a.m. Okay, I promise I'll give you a reply. Let's get on a call tomorrow, my friend. so yeah, what a fun night. Thanks for Mira for tricking me. And I don't have a 7 out of 7. I'm a little disappointed, but hey.
Oh, you gotta have, like I see that happen to you all the time. You get it right the first time and then you second guess. It was just that one with it. And I understand where you were coming from. They were very.
Yeah, I was not out of whack, like choosing a Riesling for a Chardonnay or something like fucked up like that.
No.
But, yeah. So, hey, just a quick reminder. Couple ticket left for this Saturday, our event at Riverstone Winery. It's the BC Members' Choice Winery of the Year. It's going to be an incredible party with Ted Kane, the owner winemaker, and 30 of our members coming from all over BC. So it's going to be an incredible afternoon, and there's going to be some very, very special wine open, including our number one wine of the year, the 96 points, that 2015 milestone, which is retail for $125 plus tax. It's going to be open for the members. So, yeah. Okay.
And possibly a 2013 Petit Verdot that you can't get anywhere. So you'll hear more
one
from us
barrel
about
made
that.
in 2013. So yeah,
you'll hear more from us about that next week. We might just get our hands on a few that you can try, even if you're not near Oliver this weekend. But if you are near Oliver this weekend, got to check it out. It'll be awesome.
Yeah. Okay, Mira, thanks for the great show. Canadian wine lovers, Carl's Wine Club members. Thanks, and see you next one.
Cheers.